Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to write the equations of parallel lines. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to write equations for parallel lines in slope-intercept form. Start out with, here's a graph of two parallel lines labeled F and G. First, I want you to write the equation of line F in slope-intercept form. Since the line has a y-intercept of 3 and it goes up 1 for every 2, the equation would be y equals 1/2 x plus 3. Now write the equation of line G in slope-intercept form. Line G starts at -1 on the y-intercept, but has the same slope, 1 over 2, 1 over 2. So go ahead and compare those equations. What you should notice is that they have the same slope but a different y-intercept. This will be true for all parallel lines. Parallel lines on a coordinate plane are lines that are equal distance from each other at all points and have the exact same slope every single time. Parallel lines will never intersect, so the slope will be constant for both. Question asks you to find the slope of a line parallel to the given equation. First, identify the slope. In number 1, it's 5 over 2. The slope of a line parallel to that would also have a slope of 5 over 2. Really that simple, but sometimes the equation will be written in a different order. We know slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, just like that. It's the number that's next to the x that represents our slope. So in number 2, it is -2, so a slope that would match that would also be -2. And finally, sometimes our equations are not in slope-intercept form at all. In that case, you would want to convert that equation into slope-intercept form before you can identify the slope. Now that it's in slope-intercept form, find the slope of a line parallel to this given equation. Any parallel line to this equation would have a slope of 4/3. Keeping that in mind, let's apply our knowledge of parallel lines to answer these questions, starting with number 4. We're going to write the equation of a line that's parallel to this one, so let's start by identifying the slope of that parallel line. Parallel lines have the same slope, so the slope would be -4. Now we want to write the equation for that line that has the y-intercept of -8. So in slope-intercept form, it would be y equals -4, that's the slope, x minus 8, our y-intercept. Now try number 5 by yourself. Press play when you're ready to check. Since this equation is not in slope-intercept form, you would want to start by converting it into slope-intercept form by getting the y by itself. When you do that, you could identify the parallel line has the same slope, 2/3. And the equation of the line that crosses the y-axis at 6 would be y equals 2/3 x plus 6, the y-intercept. Sometimes you may be given different information. So for example, you might be given a point that the new parallel line would pass through. You would always start by identifying the slope. In this case, 1/4 is the slope. And to write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form, we have to have the slope and we have to have the y-intercept. To solve for b, the y-intercept, we can plug in this point. 8 in for x, 1 in for y, and then solve for b. 1/4 of 8 is 2, and then to solve for b, we would subtract 2 from both sides. That gives us our y-intercept at -1. So the equation of the line that's parallel to this one would have the same slope, 1/4, and then we had to solve for the y-intercept -1 after we know it passes through this point, 8, 1. Go ahead and use that information to try number 7 all by yourself. Press play when you're ready to check. We should start out by identifying that a line parallel to this one would have the exact same slope, and then we can plug in that point and then solve for b. Gives us a y-intercept at 19, and the equation y equals -2.4x plus 19 to fit that line. All right, on this graph, I have drawn a dotted line parallel to the x-axis. That equation is y equals 4. And next, I drew a solid line parallel to the y-axis on the graph. That line is x equals -5. So this will be true for any line that's parallel to the x-axis. It'll be horizontal just like mine, and it'll have a slope of 0 every single time. The same thing is for my line that is parallel to the y-axis. It'll have a vertical line, and it'll always have an undefined slope. If a line is parallel to the x-axis, it would look like this, so the slope would be 0, and if it passes through this point, it would have to be at -8 the whole time on that y-axis. So that means that the equation of the line would just be y equals -8. There's no x because if there is a 0 next to the x, it would go away. For number 9, Natasha says that the line x equals 7 is parallel to the x-axis and has a slope of 0. Do you agree or disagree? Justify your answer. If you want to, you can go ahead and graph this using a graphing calculator and see. What you should see is that you should disagree. X equals 7 will be parallel to the y-axis and will have an undefined slope. All right, the last 2 questions are challenge questions. See if you can do one or both, and press play when you're ready to check. All right, using the graph for number 10, we can see that the point for the new line is going to pass through 2, 3, and it has to have the same slope of -3 over 1. Just using the graph in that same pattern, I went up 3 and over 1 until I got to the y-intercept at 9. So the equation of the line would be y equals -3x plus 9. You could have also substituted that point into your equation and got 9 equals b that way as well. For number 11, I want to use the slope formula for each of these lines. I plug in the points that I'm given. I got a slope of -1/3 for the first line, line P, and then for line M, I got a slope of -1/3. Since they are the same, yes, these lines are parallel. And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. Bye.